Good afternoon. I'm going to start back with Ezekiel chapter 19 for Granny Shares the Bible. It starts like this. Verse 1. Moreover, take thou up a lamentation for the princes of Israel. A lamentation. It means an expression of sorrow and grief. It can be written, it can be spoken. This is a lamentation. And say, what is thy mother? A lioness. She lay down among lions. She nourished her whelps among young lions. And she brought up one of her whelps. It became a young lion, and it learned to catch the prey. It devoured men. The nations also heard of him. He was taken in their pit, and they brought him with chains into the land of Egypt. So we know who that is. That's Joseph. Joseph was one of the tribes of Israel, one of the 12 brethren, and we know that they put him in the pit and then they sold him into Egypt. But it turned out really good for him and for all of his family, because they were all saved from the famine by Joseph. Verse 5, now when she saw that she had waited and her hope was lost, then she took another of her whelps and made him a young lion. So there came a time in Israel when they didn't want judges anymore. They wanted a king. And I think this verse is kind of speaking of that time where they didn't feel like they were anybody unless they had a king. And that's why she took another of her whelps and made him a young lion. And he went up and down among the lions. He became a young lion and learned to catch the prey and devoured men. Now, they wanted a king, and they got Saul, but he wasn't pleasing in the Lord's sight and didn't do right. So he lost out, and David became the king. And David was a man after God's own heart, but in Genesis 49, in 9, it says, Judah is a lion's whelp. From the prey, my son, thou art gone up. He stooped down, he couched as a lion, and as an old lion. Who shall rouse him up? The scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver from between his feet, until Shiloh come, and unto him shall be the gathering of the people be. So David was this lion's whelp. He was of the tribe of Judah. It says Judah is a lion's whelp. So his lineage came through the tribe of Judah. And so here he is, the young lion. He went up and down among the lions. He became a young lion and learned to catch the prey and devoured men. And they fought. And David shed much blood, and that's why he wasn't allowed to build the temple. So he was a person that did devour men. And he knew their desolate palaces, and he laid waste their cities, and the land was desolate, and the fullness thereof by the noise of his roaring. So he was mighty. David was mighty. And then the nations set against him on every side from the provinces, and spread their net over him, and he was taken in their pit. So now it goes on down. It was David's family that were the princes of Israel. David going on down, and then we came to Josiah, and then we came to Jehoiakim, and Zedekiah. And that's what verse 9 says. And they put him in ward in chains and brought him to the king of Babylon. Jehoiakim, which was only 8 years old, and then Zedekiah. They were all sons, princes of the house of David. So that's telling about all of that. So we talk about a lion in Judah's tribe was a lion's whelp. But we look in Revelation, we go all the way back to Revelation, And we look in chapter 5 of Revelation. And we see this. Verse 1 says, "And I saw in the right hand of him that sat on the throne a book written within and on the backside, sealed with 7 seals." An important book. "And I saw a strong angel proclaiming with a loud voice, 'Who is worthy to open the book and to loose the seals thereof?'" This book was the Revelation. This book is what was revealed in Revelation. But listen, "Who is worthy to open the book and to loose the seals thereof? And no man in heaven nor in earth, neither under the earth, was able to open the book, neither to look thereon. And I wept much, because no man was found worthy to open and to read the book, neither to look thereon. And one of the elders saith unto me, Weep not. Behold, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the Root of David, hath prevailed to open the book and to loose the 7 seals thereof." The Lion of the tribe of Judah. We know that Jesus Christ is the Lion of the tribe of Judah. He's the one, hallelujah, that came, that God sent through the lineage of David. Now we can look at the lineage of Joseph in Matthew, but we know that in Luke is the blood lineage of Jesus Christ in Luke chapter 3. It's Mary's lineage. That's what I have read, and that's what I believe, that it's Mary's lineage. And it says that Jesus was being as was supposed the son of Joseph, who was the son of Heli. And I believe it meant that he was his son by marriage, that he was his son by marrying Mary. And it goes on down through many people that we don't know anything about until we get down to Zerubbabel and Salathiel. And there we encounter people that is in the Bible. Zerubbabel is in the Bible, and Salathiel is in the Bible. And then we go on down and farther down into time, which was the son of, go on down and we come to, which was the son of Nathan, which was the son of David. The root of, which was the son of Jesse, which was the son of Obed, which was the son of Boaz, which was son of Salmon, which was the son of Naason, which was the son of Amminadab, which was the son of Aram, which was the son of Ezram, which was the son of Phares, which was the son of Judah. Judah is a lion's whelp. David is a lion's whelp. On up to Jesus, the Lion of the tribe of Judah. And it's amazing to read in Ezekiel how the princes of Judah came to be just captives in Babylon. And it seemed like it was over, didn't it? It seemed like the kingdom was over. But now we know that the Lion of the tribe of Judah is our King of Kings and Lord of Lords. So it wasn't over. You know, the other day, not long back, I was praying about something very important, and I heard the Lord say, I'm not through. I'm not through. And I praise Him because He's working and He's not through. And that's the way it was in Ezekiel. He was telling what had happened, what was going to happen, because it was still going to happen to Zedekiah, even though it had happened to Jehoiakim and Jehoiakim. They were taken to Babylon. Still going to happen to him, but he's not through. There is a king for Israel and for all of us. the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, and he's going to rule on this earth for 1,000 years still. He's not through. Okay? And then looking on in verse 10, and it starts another parable. Thy mother is like a vine in thy blood, planted by the waters. She was fruitful and full of branches by reason of many waters. And she had strong rods for the scepters of them that bear rule. And her stature was exalted among the thick branches. And she appeared in her height with a multitude of her branches. So this vine was strong enough to be even exalted among the trees. Exalted among the thick branches of trees. She's a vine. But she appeared in her height with a multitude of her branches. So she had branches, many, many branches. And she had strong rods for the scepters of them that bear rule. Look at him. Look at David. Look at Solomon. Solomon was a wise man and did all these proverbs, most of these proverbs in the Bible. And he was strong. And go on and look in Hezekiah, look at Asa, look at all these, Josiah, a mighty king, even though he was young, but he was a king that loved God and wanted God's ways. So she had strong rods for the scepters of them that bear rule. So that vine produced those kings, those mighty kings. But listen, it says, but she was plucked up in fury. That's a word that has been used in these chapters that we're studying. God talked about his fury. I want to go back here to where the chapter where he really speaks of his fury. And that's scary, a scary thought, is God's fury upon the people in Jerusalem. How scary it is to think that you're coming underneath the feeling and the power of God's fury. I can't lay my eyes on it right now, but so often he spoke of his fury. And I don't want to ever be found there under his fury. She was plucked up in fury. She was cast down to the ground, and the east wind dried up her fruit. Her strong rods were broken and withered. The fire consumed them. She was burnt up. She was burnt down. Jerusalem was set on fire and burnt up and destroyed. And it was going to happen. God was telling it that his fury was going to rest upon Jerusalem, or go upon Jerusalem. And when it did, oh my, it was going to be a horrible thing. And this lioness, which is also a vine, that she was going to be destroyed and come under the full effects of God's fury. I was looking back here to see if it had places where it spoke of his fury. Oh my. I know that in the book of Revelation, another word for God's fury is his wrath. Fury. Here it is. I don't see the other spots in Ezekiel, but in other places we've run into this word about God's fury. And so she was plucked up in fury. She was cast down to the ground, and the east wind dried up her fruit. Her strong rods were broken and withered. The fire consumed them. And now she is planted in the wilderness in a dry and thirsty ground. She can't be fruitful anymore. And fire is gone out of a rod of her branches, which hath devoured her fruit, so that she hath no strong rod to be a scepter to rule. So that's the end, seemingly. That's the end of Jerusalem and the king and the kingdom. This is a lamentation, and shall be for a lamentation. This is an expression of your sorrow and your grief over it. So, I want you to think about how, even so that God said all this and all of this came to pass, how the Jews are still God's chosen people, how He still loves them. And I want you to remember when you pray to pray for the Jews, that they will turn to their King. See you tomorrow.